Hi everyone, I come back with another tutorial. So we're going to be solving question 3 from tutorial sheet 3, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, kindly do so that you don't miss out the videos that I'm going to be posting. So the question is telling us to say determine K so that the given equation will have the stated property and write the resulting equation. So the first question is telling us to say this given equation has one root. What does it mean when we say it has one root? It simply means that the discriminant is equal to 0. It has equal roots. It has two equal roots, meaning the discriminant is equal to 0. So you can either go by the formula, or by the method of using the discriminant, or just by using the same roots to do what's this, to find the value of K. So the simplest method on question A that I can use is using the discriminant. So it means that the discriminant is equal to 0, meaning my b squared minus 4, this is 4, minus 4ac is equal to 0. So b squared, my b there will be 4k. So I'll say 4k squared minus 4. My a is 1, then my c is k plus 2 is equal to 0. So so here it's just a mode of multiplying. Say 4k squared, and then here you have negative 4 k minus 8 is equal to 0. So here we can reduce it, and this is going to be k squared minus k then minus 2 being equal to 0. So from here I think most of us can solve it. Most of us I know can solve a quadratic equation. So here you can solve the quadratic equation and find the value of okay, let's try to do it so that at least even that one who can't understand maybe. So our product is negative 2 and our sum is negative 1, so meaning we have the factors which are negative 2 and positive 1. So we're going to have our positive k there, and then our negative k, our negative 2k minus 2 being equal to 0. So k, we factorize, we're going to have k and then plus 1, then minus 2. I'm going to have k plus 1 again there, k plus 1, and then this is now going to be equal to 0. So from there you just put the k minus 2 together, k and negative 2 together, and the k plus 1 you also put it together. So when you equate these independent factors to 0, you get your k to be equal to positive 2 and your k to be equal to negative 1. Yes. So when you replace this the question is telling us to say write the resulting equation. So the first equation that we're going to have, you get, okay, let me just write the first equation. The second one you write it on your own. The first one is saying x squared is going to be x squared plus, we put where there's k, we put 2. So we're going to have 8x squared plus 8 x, and then 2 plus 2 there, we're going to have plus 4. So this is our first equation. This is our first equation. So the next equation you put negative 1 there where there is k and find the values. So we quickly move on to the next question, which is B. So you solve B in the same way that I've solved A, but despite that, first let me read the question. 4x squared minus 8k minus 9 is equal to 0 has one root which is negative of the other. So if you have one root which is negative of the other, this one we cannot use the discriminant. I don't know, maybe some people who are clever enough can use the discriminant, but in this case what you do is you say my first value of x is equal to I'll say alpha, and then the second value of x will be equal to negative alpha, meaning I'll take this. It's like you are solving a quadratic equation in a reverse way. So I'll take this back to that other x. I taught this in my tuition group. So you do that, and then you say this one is going to be plus alpha being equal to 0. So you just begin to go down like that. So you put them in brackets. You also put this in brackets. You equate everything to 0. It's like you are solving the quadratic equation in the opposite, in the opposite direction, in a reverse way. So from there you just now multiply x times x, you get x squared, alpha times x. So when you multiply this, you're going to have something like, alpha times x, you get alpha, negative alpha times x, you get negative alpha x, and then you have x times alpha, you get positive alpha x, and then you get positive alpha x, and then alpha times alpha there, you get, so negative alpha times positive alpha, you get negative alpha squared. So this is equal to 0. So you're going to have your x squared minus alpha squared being equal to 0. So basically this is the quadratic equation that you are going to have. This is the form of the quadratic equation that you are going to have. Now if you can remember very well, there is something that we did, which is addition and multiplication of two roots. So the multiplication of two roots, which is alpha, and so you have alpha and negative alpha. In short, you have alpha and negative alpha. When you multiply two roots of a quadratic equation, you get multiplication of roots is simply c over a. So my c here is negative 9. So c is negative 9, and then over my a is 4. We know to say alpha times beta is equal to c. It's not writing. Okay, it's equal to c over a. And then alpha plus beta is equal to negative b over a. Okay, so we quickly continue. So this is going to be negative alpha squared being equal to negative 9 over 4. So meaning my alpha squared will be equal to 9 over 9 over 4. So meaning alpha will just be equal to the plus or minus the root of 9 over 4, which is just equal to 3 over 2 plus or minus 3 over 2. So once you get this, remember what we are looking for is not alpha, we are looking for k. So this has just helped us to find alpha, and this is not k. So now how do you find k? You master this, plus or minus 3 over 2. Okay, now how do you find k? Remember the addition of two roots. We have alpha plus another alpha, which is another negative alpha, is equal to our value. When you are adding two roots, you get negative b over a. So when you add these two, you are getting a 0 this side, and then when you say negative b over a will just simply be 8k over, so simply be 8k over, my a is 4. Yeah, so when you divide there, you have 2k being equal to 0, and then your value of k will now simply just be equal to 0. So basically if you knew how to do this, how to add and multiply the roots, you can even just come and go directly and just find this. The reason why I went through all that process is because I wanted you to know the different ways in which you can solve these equations there, these questions. I wanted you to know the different ways in which you can solve these questions. But this, what I've written here, is actually the final solution. This is what you were just supposed to write without even passing through solving the backward solving of the quadratic equation. You can just go direct to this and find and write it as your answer. Okay, so this is what you are just supposed to do. But if you follow properly my solutions that I've given you on this B, those are the basic things that you need to know for you to solve any of these questions. So let's quickly maybe look at one last question there. So the last one here, which says has one root which is twice the other. So you know to say your first value of x will be equal to your first value of x. Okay, let us just do this maybe. So let me first solve C and then we go to D. So this one is saying has roots whose difference is 4. So our first root is alpha, and then our second root, so we have 1x which is equal to alpha, then our second x is equal to alpha minus 4. So you can either use alpha minus 4 or alpha plus 4. It's still going to give you the same answer. And then you now begin to use, when you are multiplying two roots, you have alpha times beta. So in this case we're going to be multiplying alpha, this root and that root. So alpha minus 4, sorry, alpha multiplied by alpha minus 4 will give us our, when you're multiplying two roots, you get C over A. So our C is 5k over A, which is 2. Sorry, I've gone to this one. Anyway, let me just write it properly. So our C there is 9. So when you're multiplying two roots, you get C over A. So our C is 9 and then our A is 4. So you're going to have your alpha squared minus 4 alpha being equal to 9 over 4. So we move on to the next 1, which is addition of two roots. So when you're adding alpha and alpha minus 4, you get your answer to be negative b. So my negative b will be 8k over a, which is 4. So this will simply give me 2k. So here we're going to have our alpha. We're going to have a alpha plus alpha will give you 2 alpha, and then minus minus 4. Minus 4 is equal to 2k. So this can be reduced to alpha minus 2 is equal to k. So you simply just make alpha the subject here, and then you are going to take this to the other side of the equal sign. You have k plus, k plus 2. So in this equation, where there is alpha, you put k plus 2. So in this equation where there is alpha, put k plus 2 and then solve the equation, the quadratic equation. Find the values of k, replace them in this equation, and then you find your solution. Okay, so same applies to this other last question, which is g has one root which is twice the other. So meaning our first root that we have is alpha, and then our second root which we have is 2 alpha. So here multiplication of 2 roots, meaning alpha and 2 alpha, should give us c, meaning 5k over 2. So meaning you have 2 alpha squared being equal to 5 over 2k. Then you move on to addition of 2 roots. So when you add alpha and 2 alpha, it should be able to give you negative 3k. So meaning to be positive 3k, since it's negative b, and then over 2. So 3 alpha is equal to 3 over 2k. Then we're going to have 2 alpha being equal to k. So when you have 2 alpha being equal to k, you just get this value of you just make alpha the subject and then replace it in this formula, and then solve the quadratic equation. The values of k that you find, replace them there. Okay, let me just show you how to replace, because I know some people are saying, how now do you? So we say alpha is equal to k over 2. So where there is alpha in this one, we put k over 2. So we're going to have k. Then where there is alpha, we put k over 2. Then you square it. Say is equal to 5 over 2k. So this is now going to give you k squared over 2 being equal to 5 over 2k. So in other words, we have k squared, when you simplify this, minus 5k is equal to 0. So we say k will now be equal to k minus 5. I mean just factorize this, which is going to give us 0. So k will either be, so in other words, my k values will now be equal to, our first k value will be 0, and then our other k value, when you get k minus 5 to 0, you get your answer to be when you equate k minus 5 to 0, you get your answer to be 5. So the first value of k is 0, the second value of k is 5. So now it's just a matter of replacing them in that equation to find the two equations that are needed. So our first k value, so when k is equal to 0, our equation will be 2x squared minus, when you put 0 there, so it will just be 2x squared minus 0 plus 0, which is just 2x squared is equal to 0. So this one is not making sense, so you can discard it, because when you say x is equal to plus or minus the root of 0, it's still not making sense. Okay, so let's use our other value of k. So meaning our k value will, when k is equal to 5, you put it there. So we're going to have 2x squared minus 3 times 5, you get 15x, and then 5 times 5, you get 25 plus 25 being equal to 0. So basically this is how you find the equation. So this is the equation that is needed for question for D. So this is how you even find the equation for the rest of these other questions. So thank you very much for watching today's tutorial. Kindly subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed, so that even the next time I'm going to be making the tutorial videos, you don't miss out. Click on the button which says subscribe. Shalom, shalom.